Before I show you guys how I did the workouts and show you my results and everything, I did want to dedicate a little portion towards nutrition. I'm not sure how familiar some of you guys are with nutrition and the importance of it in terms of building muscle, but just to break it down a little bit, I want to talk about leaning and bulking. Some of you guys may have heard about bulking season and leaning season. So just to break it down a little bit, leaning is trying to get a little bit more slim and looking more toned, while bulking is trying to essentially bulk. So what I like to think of is becoming like the Hulk and getting like really big or a little bit more muscular. And before we get into the workouts, I wanted to talk about these two concepts for a second, because I guess in some ways you can both lean and bulk at the same time simultaneously, but in my experience it has been less effective and it takes a long time to do. So what I would rather do is just pick either one. So since we are in a booty building program, what I do recommend is trying to bulk or essentially be in a calorie surplus. What that means is that you want to eat a little bit more than you usually do. Usually what I try to go for is around 200 or maybe 300 calories more than my maintenance. And everybody's maintenance will be completely different. To be honest, I don't even know mine because I don't count calories. But what I try and do is try to stick to more protein during the booty days, and then throughout the back or like the upper body and ab days, I try and not eat as much protein but try and keep a balanced plate. And for some of you guys who are wondering what I mean by balanced plate, is basically by trying to limit the processed foods like white grains, like white rice, white breads, pasta, and try and go more towards the whole foods like vegetables and fruits. And when I say whole plate or balanced plate, I mean I want to have equally portions of protein and carbs. And then for my booty days, that's when I would add in a little bit more protein, like the pancake I just made, the protein pancake, and then I'd have like a protein bar on the side, or maybe have a little bit more quinoa or more eggs than I usually would on the abs and upper body days. And before I get into the workout, I also do want to mention that nutrition is so important, and so are your rest days, because essentially that's how you build the booty. So I know this is kind of like a weird concept for some of you guys who have never heard of this or who don't understand, but basically when you're working out, that's when you're stressing the muscle, when you're breaking the muscle, but then on the days that you're resting and on the days that you're eating protein, that's how you build the booty, because your body will want to continue getting stronger and it needs that proper rest to get that energy. To make it more simple to understand, what I like to think about is kind of like a three-step process in terms of building muscle. So one, you obviously need to work to break down the muscle. So that would be working out or doing the booty workouts. And then the step two would be the nutrition. So when you're eating the protein, that helps you build the muscle again and repair it. And then the step three is the rest days. So a lot of people, you'll hear them say, oh, I do booty workouts like 5 times a week for an hour at the gym, and usually their booty isn't that good or that big compared to someone who does it twice a week for 30 minutes. And that's because if you stress out the muscle too much, then it doesn't have time to rest or to build. So it's really important that you get proper sleep and that you eat proper nutrition. To give you guys a little bit of background information, I would say, really active. I've been working out for about 6 or 7 years now at the gym, mostly weightlifting, and I just came out of a 2-week burnout. So that means I haven't been working out for 2 weeks. And I can definitely tell that on the first day, my body was telling me that it was time and that I am ready to start moving again and start getting active, because the last 2 weeks were actually really good. Like, I felt challenged. So I really do enjoy this program, and I'm really excited to show you guys my progress. Before COVID hit, I always went to the gym to do my workouts, so I don't have any dumbbells or anything, so I thought it would be best to improvise with 2 very heavy books. Honestly, I would kind of recommend if you can deal with it, but over time, my hands do hurt from carrying it. But anyways, going to the workout, so like I mentioned before, since it has been 2 weeks since I last worked out, the first day was really good. I was feeling it, you can see it in my face right here, and usually it doesn't hurt, and usually I don't get sore, but after this very first day, my hamstrings were sore for 4 days, which is unusual to me. Like, I'm almost never sore because I'm so active. You guys will see in a little bit, but I was actually very surprised at how challenged I was during this 30-day workout program, because usually it takes me a lot to feel sore and a lot to feel something, but this workout really hit me, you know? I was sweating, you'll see later on, I was almost dying. Like, it's a good workout. I hope you guys try it out because it's definitely worth it.
14 exercises today, 30 to 40 seconds on.
Before I go on and tell you guys how I felt about each and every day, I decided it's better to explain some of the things that she mentions during the video. So specifically, I want to talk about progressive overload and mind-muscle connection. If you guys are doing the workouts yourself, you notice that she reminds us a lot of times to rest. You'll hear her talk about resting a lot just because of the form, because you always want to be sure that you're doing it right and avoiding injury, but resting also plays a huge role in progressive overload. To simplify progressive overload, it's the theory of lifting heavier or increasing the muscle's tension over time, or the time under tension. In weightlifting, this is essential for increasing the endurance, for increasing the muscle size and your strength. To explain progressive overload a little bit more, you know when you're doing a lot of hip bridges or focusing on the booty building and you feel that burn in your glutes, that is a good thing. That means that all the acid is breaking down the muscle, and that means that you are actively working it out. And if you get proper rest and eat proper proteins, then you will build more muscle and you will increase your strength. As time goes by, you'll notice it takes a little bit longer for you to feel that burn in the booty, and this is really good because it's basically explaining progressive overload. It means that your body is getting used to the workouts that you're doing, so it's getting stronger and growing more endurance, and when you push yourself a little bit more, for example, you have less rest time or you go with a higher resistance, that means your body is continuing to be challenged and you will continue to build and grow muscle. I remember getting too drunk with my best. Like I said, I always work out at the gym, so I really did have to improvise. So with the bench, I used my chair instead. And it was quite uncomfortable. So if you guys have something that's a little bit shorter, then I would recommend using that for your back. You'll see here that I have a lot of trouble trying to find the right position so that it burns my booty. But this goes into the topic of mind-muscle connection. I'm sure you've heard of this word a couple of times when you're doing YouTube videos or workouts, and it's because it is very, very important. Mind-muscle connection is very, very important, especially for glute workouts and ab workouts. If you guys never heard of mind-muscle connection, it is basically what it sounds like. It means that you want to focus on the muscle that you're working out, and you want to make sure that you're feeling the burn there. This is why you see or hear a lot of people saying to warm up your glutes or to warm up your abs before you go ahead and do the workout.
14 exercises today, 30 to 40 seconds on.
So for example, for abs, especially for lower abs, a lot of people, they don't really know how to channel that muscle. So they start working out their lower body, or they're not really having proper form, and then that ruins a lot of the effectiveness of the workout. Mind-muscle connection is something that everyone can do. It's definitely a skill that we all can grow and continue to strengthen, because it's kind of like a form of mindfulness. For example, if I'm doing a workout and I'm thinking about what I want to eat the next day, I won't feel as much of a burn as I would if I'm staying completely focused on the lunges.
Starting with hammer curl and press.
I know I'm not the only quad dominant girl out there, so if you are similar to me and you feel it in your thighs first, then mind-muscle connection is very, very important. It's quite hard to explain because it's very simple, but at the same time it's very complex. But what you want to do is focus on the muscle that you are working out. So for example, for me, what works best is visually looking or thinking about the muscle that I'm working out, and then I focus on just that and focus on the feeling of it burning. And that really helps with the mind-muscle connection, because I'm focusing on my form, I'm focusing on the feeling, and nothing else will get in the way. I remember getting too drunk with my best. Now that you guys understand the importance of those terms, just to give you a little bit of information of how I'm doing so far in the challenge, it's going really well.
Spider plank swipe.
There are some days, specifically this day, where I was completely tired and I was like dying. I think it was a tight core plank challenge that was the hardest for me. I couldn't even, do it without taking a break. So these workouts are actually really, really intense and good for both beginners and advanced people. For example, you can see me here always going down and trying to take a break, and you can see here that I don't have proper form, and that's because it was very, very challenging. You'll see here that I'm doing the progressive overload. I'm on week 3 and I am actually dying. Like, I can see my sweat from here, and I remember on the workout I was like so done. I wanted to quit right then and there, but I was like 2 minutes away from completely finishing the day. So I kept powering on, and you best believe that I'm eating a lot of protein today. And here are my results. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm not even measuring my booty right, because it's always a different number every time I do it. But just to break it down a little bit, I did increase my measurements by 0.5 inches, which is really impressive considering it's been 2 weeks. And I'm excited to see what the end result will be. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and please comment, like, and subscribe for the next part.
With rest in between. Sit on the mat and we're gonna start with chest press.